Christmas trees?
German.
Gingerbread?
German.
Some of your favorite Christmas carols?
German.
Even with all of these adopted German Christmas traditions, there are some that the US has left out.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie.
And I'm Aubrey.
And we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. We are currently entering into our fourth Christmas season that we have actually spent in Germany. And in all of that time that we have been over here, we've noticed how the US has definitely adopted a lot of German traditions, mainly because of our German ancestry and how much they imported their culture into the US when they came. However, we've noticed a lot of traditions that Germans have that the US did not adopt, and honestly, we're kind of surprised and a little bit disappointed that we don't have. So today we wanted to share a few of those with you guys and show some of our favorite things that Germans do over here during the Christmas season that the US is missing out on, and that is exactly what we're going to talk about today in our video. Christmas traditions we're a-wishin' will be US additions.
So when we first moved over here, we were looking at the German holiday schedule so that we would know what days we would have off and we could plan our vacations around. We assumed like Christmas and Easter would be a given, but one that surprised us was second day of Christmas. So on December 26th, Germans get that day off as well.
So in the US, I think the biggest difference is that just the 25th is a recognized public holiday, and almost everybody gets off that day for work.
It is pretty common to get Christmas Eve off on the 24th, but it's not a standard across the states.
That's something that I would be interested in knowing from the Germans. If the 24th is kind of common to get off, even though it's not a public holiday, or do you have to use vacation if you want off on the 24th? Because I do know that Germans tend to open their presents on Christmas Eve, and what we do on Christmas morning, it seems like Germans do on Christmas Eve. So it would kind of surprise me if people are at work all day and then they get off and go home and then they do all of those big festivities. I would assume that you would have to get off the 24th. And we had never heard of the second day of Christmas. It kind of sounds like they want to keep the party going, so they went ahead and just took the next day off of work as well. And I think we really wish the US would adopt that just to guarantee that everybody gets that a little bit more time with their family and friends that they can celebrate with.
However, one thing that the US does do that we really like is that if Christmas or really any holiday that you normally get off falls on a weekend, you get either the Friday or Monday around that holiday off. Where in Germany, if it falls on a weekend, seems like it's just too bad. You don't get that day off.
So that's kind of the case of this year. It's kind of a bummer because Christmas falls on the weekend. So it almost feels like a wasted holiday because you get to celebrate it, of course, but you don't get off from work. So that's kind of a bummer that you don't get that free day like you would the other years where Christmas falls on a weekday.
But our question to our German audience is, what do you do on the second day of Christmas? We don't know any typical German traditions that you do that day, so we're very interested. Is it just hanging out with family? Is it doing some other kind of traditions that we've never heard of?
Now, one of the best parts about the Christmas season in Europe, but in particular in Germany, and is one thing that we really wish that the US did maybe more, and that is of course Christmas markets.
So from our experience of all the markets we have been to, how we would describe a Christmas market is there are lots of little huts set up in a big popular town square area of the city. Sometimes there's multiple throughout the city, or if it's smaller, there might just be one little area. So there's all these huts and there's different vendors that sell different goods that you can buy, like different crafts or ornaments or gifts you could give to people or handmade things.
They typically start around the first Advent and go to Christmas, or sometimes a little bit beyond, or some places may even change it after Christmas to be like a New Year's market, where there are some Christmas markets that start way before the first Advent that get a little bit of a head start on the year. Like Ludwigsburg is one that we know started this year on November 10th. So you almost have like 2 months of Christmas markets. And one of the best things at the Christmas markets though is the food. Just lots of really good, like in Germany, sausages of course, or Reibekuchen, or Dampfnudel, and just each area or different region may have their own specialties that they serve, but Christmas markets are just kind of like a fairy tale storybook setting of what you would imagine Christmas to be.
And something that we have loved about the Christmas markets is that it's something really fun to do during the dreary cold months in Germany. And it just lifts your spirits just getting out and seeing people and getting to experience the lively markets.
And then January and February rolls around and it gets dark just as early and you have nothing like this.
Nothing.
Christmas markets are done in the US, but we really have only heard of in very specific places like I think Chicago and Atlanta. And I do think there are some more like German heritage cities that do have Christmas markets. However, it definitely is not like a widespread thing. Real quick guys, if you're enjoying this video, it really would be a massive help to us if you would hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment just saying Merry Christmas or whatever you want. It all helps the algorithm and helps our channel grow. We would really appreciate if you did that. And also if you want to know other ways of supporting us, we do have our Patreon linked in the description below. But with that being said, we're gonna continue on with the video.
One thing that signifies the start of the Christmas season across most of Europe, but definitely in Germany, and something that the majority of Americans have never heard of, don't even know exists, is Glühwein.
Ugh, what is this stuff? Lava?
That is Glühwein, otherwise known as glow wine, also used to sterilize medical instruments.
When The Office first had that Christmas episode where Dwight shows The Office Glühwein, that really was most Americans' first introduction to even the concept of Glühwein. However, the way that was portrayed in the episode does not give a good representation of this drink. And if you don't know what Glühwein basically is a hot or warm spiced wine. So we sometimes describe it to people as having the spices of like apple cider and then have that in wine that's been heated up and you drink that and it warms you up as you're outside of these Christmas markets. And they can come in a red or white variety. However, it does definitely seem that red is the most popular one. But if you prefer white, let us know that in the comments below because I'm interested in seeing how many people actually choose that one at the Christmas markets.
Glühwein is the most popular drink served at the German Christmas markets. They come in these cute little mugs that you pay a fond or a deposit on, and you can either return the mug and get your deposit back or take it as a souvenir. And most of the mugs have something special on them like the name of the city where the market was held or the year of the market. So they're really a fun little souvenir.
And Glühwein isn't just sold at Christmas markets. Glühwein is also really popular for people to drink at homes with their friends and family, and you can buy them in bottles already with the spices in them, and all you do is heat them up in a pot on the stovetop. We have seen where you can buy just the spice packets and then you can pour it in your own wine and then you can make your own at home like that. And in the US, I would say that some of the most popular wintertime or Christmas time drinks are gonna be like hot chocolate or eggnog or apple cider, but not this. There is one German Christmas tradition that actually marks the end of Christmas that we have come to love. And of course, we don't have it in the US, but we do have something somewhat similar. But what I'm talking about are Sternsinger or star singers. These basically are little children that will be dressed up as the three wise men or angels, and they'll go from house to house on Epiphany and they'll sing some songs, and then they also will leave a blessing on the house. So we have talked about these in another video, so you can watch that video for a more in-depth explanation of what they are and also the blessings that they leave on the home, but it is a regional tradition. So I'm interested in knowing if you have these in your part of Germany. Leave that in the comments below. But also in our last video, we had talked about the CMB and the blessings on the home, and we had talked about how in our area, they gave us brochures that explained that many people falsely believe the CMB stands for the three wise men's names. However, they said it is actually Latin and it means Christ bless this house. So I want to know from you guys what you have been told the CMB stands for, either the three wise men name or the Latin Christ bless his house. Leave that in the comments below.
What we have in the US that would be closest to this is Christmas carolers. Now this is an older tradition that you don't see as much nowadays, but it's when people go from house to house and they sing Christmas carols to the people that are at home. And Christmas caroling typically takes place leading up to Christmas or even on Christmas, where this German tradition takes place after Christmas and marks the end of Christmas.
So I'm actually also interested in knowing if Germany even has Christmas carolers. Is this a thing in Germany?
And this last one is something that we think Germans should adopt from the US, and that is putting lights on our houses. Now, I know so many Germans are familiar with American Christmas movies, so you've seen all the lights on houses. We were surprised coming to Germany and not seeing all the lights strung on houses. You do see people having like candles and stars and some little things in their houses that light it up, but it's a lot darker than the streets are in the States whenever people have lights just all over their house.
Now, I definitely do know some Germans who say that they don't like the US tradition of lights on houses because it's a little bit over the top or gaudy, and they rather have the simplistic and a little bit more traditional looking lights inside of windows on the homes, and I can definitely understand that. However, we personally just love getting to go out. It's a huge tradition for many families to get together. They all get in the car, they play Christmas music, they talk, they'll sometimes take hot cocoa in the car, and they'll just drive around town and look at the Christmas lights. And I can also understand a German looking at that and saying, that's not good for the environment, all these people out driving and looking at the lights. Germans could go and they could walk around their neighborhoods and see the Christmas lights, and they could have a great time doing that. But it's one thing that just makes the Christmas season so festive and fun, and just seeing all the neighborhoods and streets just lit up everywhere you go.
So these are just a few of our favorite German Christmas traditions, but let us know in the comments below what your favorite Christmas tradition is and where you're from.
And to see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is, what is your favorite Christmas food or cookie? Let us know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we will see you in our next video.
Tschüss and frohe Weihnachten.
Hey guys, oh, you weren't ready yet. Now are you ready? Okay. Hey guys, and
so Glühwein, Glühwein?
Glühwein?
Hey.
Glühwein.
Stop it.
Glühwein. Glühwein. Glühwein.
Hey.
Glühwein.
Glühwein.